welcome to episode 20 Drive to Draw podcast, mate. I can't believe it. We are getting to the pointy end of the season and the pointy end of this year's podcasts.
Yeah, you don't have to put up with me for too many more weeks.
You don't have to put up with me either, mate. Coming up on today's episode, we've got Brent Marshall in our 22nd Ends Players interview, and we thank Brent, obviously, for joining us. But, mate, how's your week been? I have to ask because I'm surprised to see that you've still got a bowling arm at the moment. You've been on the green more often than not.
Semi-professional, I think, Pete. But
Is that what we're calling it these days?
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and today.
Wednesday, yep.
So 5 in a row.
Well, let's rewind it. How did you go Saturday?
Yeah, okay. Just had to introduce myself to my wife again tonight. So, Saturday, team won by 3.
Yes.
My rink went down by 3, but we actually got a 3 on the last end, so so that sort of made things a little bit sweeter. Bit top side,
yes.
West Lakes, so
yes.
Very good win there. So
yes.
Hopefully, touch wood, we play Modbury this week and can get over the line and we'll stay second or maybe even top. So,
beautiful. Double chance coming.
Certainly would help us.
Finals for Fecky.
It will be finals.
Well done.
We'll be there.
Congratulations.
Today, good win, personally,
Yep.
our rink, 26-10 against West Lakes again. I had a tent set up there. I just stayed there. I didn't, thought rather than go home.
Just rolled straight in.
Yeah, so that was our last week though, Pete. We're out. We finished 5th. So that was it for me today as far as midweek.
And a Walkerville bowler sent me a bit of a message with a photo of a scorecard today.
Yes.
They're just handing them out like lollies at the moment.
I was going to mention that. I've got that up the top there. Robbie McEwen.
Yes.
Alan Murphy, David Thorne and Peter Canala, an 8.
And that was on the second to last end,
I didn't see it because I was still going.
Yep. And that was against Matty Hull.
Hully.
What happened?
Yes.
We might have to jump on the socials there and see what happened.
Hully got there late, as he always does. He works at the Paracari at the fruit markets or something, I think he does. And he was a bit disappointed he didn't cop me. And then Pete Donoghue was the same. He wanted a crack at me.
Yep.
Because unfortunately for them, I finished top in the skips and the player ladder in the 2, so they wanted to have a crack at me today.
How many 50s did you have to give the drawer of the cards to get you over the line there?
Very lucky, I think.
Mate, we'll talk about it now. Sunday we were out at Newry. Fantastic tournament up there. Had a lot of fun. Sori and I on the way back probably needed to hide the flammables and the sharps. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite get over the line. The last game actually was an absolute crack against Reece Taylor and Brenton Bain, obviously known to the SA metro area, but it's still playing at Gawler there a little bit when they're available, and absolutely enjoyed the company out there, mate.
Yeah, it was good. And
Lockie Fuss, we must mention as well.
Yeah, got to mention Lockie. Really enjoyed that at Newry. Had some really good games. And I must mention, I went to Victor then straight after that day, and got there at, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night or something.
You would have slept very well, mate.
Yeah. So I woke up then and played Victor, and I must just give credit to the Victor Harbour Bowling Club. Absolutely fantastic meals and brekkies, and
I heard from Harves today. He was telling me about the lunches you got were fantastic.
Yeah, so thank you to the Victor Harbour Bowling Club.
Yep.
So
well done.
Yeah,
mate. That's all we've got time for today.
That was it.
Just your bowls, mate.
The bowl show.
I love it. All right, mate. Let's move on with Around the Greens.
Around the Greens.
All right, mate. Let's start off with Premier League round 17 results, and also we've got some tips and final ladder positions that'll probably stay the same as of this weekend. But let's talk about last week's results.
No real upsets this week, Pete. First game is Lockley's 59 to Adelaide 101. So Steve Jones probably had a week that he wants to forget.
Yep.
4 to Charlie Hicks 39. So
huge result.
Yeah, huge for Charlie.
Yep.
Modbury 68 versus West Lakes 100. Chris Venning 8. And Choppy today, 34. Yep. So big win there to the Chopster. Next game, we'll run through them. Summerton 103, Holdfast 53. Luke Pettersmar 32 to Fergus Roundtree 10.
Wow, some big scores being put on.
Yeah. And that's good night, Josephine, for Holdy. So,
well, the only way that they could potentially stay up is if Somerton remain in the finals, and we're going to talk about this in Division 1 in a minute, and make it through to the final. But there's Marion and Port Noarlunga they've got to get through to get there first.
Yeah, so we'll move on to the next one.
Absolutely.
Salisbury 73 to Hawthorn 78. So a real good effort by Salisbury, and as we knew, there was Razorblades coming home from the Newry tournament. There was Razorblades going there too.
Yes.
Graham Saw 8, Matty Northcott 28.
Basically that best rink. We did talk about it a little bit on the way up, trying to sort of calm the big fella down. He is getting the best rink, and Hawthorn having a little bit of a luxury with Michael Lodge playing 3 to Matty Northcott. Gives them a very good opportunity in most games that they're in to probably put on a reasonable score. So Matty's had a fantastic year as well, with a couple of little changes along the way.
And the last game you'll be able to tell us a bit more about, Ascot 81, Grange put up a good fight, 77.
They did indeed.
And a big upset here as far as rinks, Mitch Percy 11, Ben Bowman 29. What happened there, Pete?
Benny had an absolute day out. No matter what he bowled, he could have bowled left-handed. He could have bowled with his eyes closed, blindfolded. He was on fire and really just converted everything. Speaking to Smithy after the game, he sort of said that they felt like they won the front 3 positions, but Benny just had one of those days where everything played into his hands. And after Sammy had given Mitchie a bit of a pump up on the interview last week, maybe it got to him a little bit. We don't know. But no, I think, speaking to the boys afterwards, and that's probably the one good thing about Ascot is that anybody can play any position, even though Mitchie was having a bit of fun going, put me back to lead and I'll just lead for somebody this week. No, it's just one of those things that happens. You get a hot player and a hot rink and away you go. So
just move into the ladder quickly, Pete. Somerton 15-2, Ascot 12-5, Adelaide 12-5, Hawthorn 11-6, and just looking over,
that will be the top 4.
That will be the top 4, and Holdfast and Lockley's more than likely. Well, Lockley's are definitely heading down, and Holdy.
Well,
who they got this week?
They've got Ascot Park.
Yeah, so I can see both of those two heading down.
Yep.
So.
Now jockeying for positions probably between 2nd and 3rd. Ascot playing, as we said, Holdfast, and without sort of cutting your lunch here with the next lot of games, Adelaide are playing Modbury. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to round 18, mates.
Last round, West Lakes versus Somerton.
I've got this as my game of the round.
Yeah, I reckon too.
I think West Lakes are determined to finish the year on a little bit of a positive note and a high.
But they won't.
But Somerton for me.
Somerton for me. Hawthorn and Lockleys.
Hawthorn for me.
Hawthorn comfortably, I'd say.
I think they will be looking to finish as well, leading into finals on a bit of a high. Who knows what Lockleys are going to throw at Hawthorn this weekend. They could throw everything but the kitchen sink, but I don't think it'll be enough.
I agree. Adelaide versus Modbury. Won't be a bad game.
It won't be a bad game, actually. When you've got Tomo and Dory in that side, anything can sort of happen, but Adelaide for me.
Adelaide for me. The next game's at Holdfast, Holdy versus Ascot.
I'm pretty much going to say Ascot on the basis that Holdfast, they could potentially fly a few players in if they needed, considering the Queensland Premier League has been postponed because of the cyclones, but like the footy, like the NRL and everything like that, I don't think players' wives are going to be too happy or girlfriends going to be too happy with them leaving to play a game of bowl. So Ascot for me.
Ascot for me too. And the last game, be a good game, this one. Grange versus Salisbury at Grange.
Speaking with the Grange boys last weekend, they got 1 or 2 rinks against us. Keeps them out of that relegation zone. Same with Salisbury as well. Grange for me.
And Grange for me. I think we tipped all the same.
We did. Pete. It's probably the first time all year.
Probably the last time.
It could be the last time. Really looking forward to the final series starting next week, and might try and get a couple of players on from those clubs that are going head to head, and we'll see how we go. All right, let's move on to Division 1.
Round 17, second to last round here too, Pete.
Yep.
So we had Port Noarlunga, 110 versus Somerton 50.
That's a surprise considering Somerton are basically sitting third or fourth on the table, but Port Noarlunga way too strong, just flexing their muscles a little bit come finals time.
Brad Napper, 34 to Jason Hallows, 15 was the biggest winning rink there.
Is a big win.
Big win. Millswood versus Paynham. Millswood, 97, Paynham, 63. Andrew Guard, 25 to Alan Hurst, 11. It's good night. Yeah, good night, Paynham.
Yep.
Heading down.
Gardy obviously moving from Mount Barker a few years down to Millswood.
Okay. Yep.
Has done very, very well there and, absolutely getting the chocolates there against Hursty.
Another good game here, Pete. Woodville, 79. And it was nip and tuck all day. Henley, 83. Mark Hanrahan, 16 to Andrew Westbury, 21. So very close. All rinks. There's only 5 there, and that was the biggest winning rink.
Well, we'll talk about this with the ladder later, but that sort of gives Henley a silly chance.
It does. But they've got a tough game.
They do.
We'll get into that later on. Don't steal my thunder there, Pete.
Wow, keep cutting the lunch today. Double cut roll.
Oh, I used to do them good too.
Yep.
Yeah. Tranmere, 71 to Toorak, 80. Toorak again. Here they come.
They're finishing the season with a flurry. I
Good
think
on
that's
them.
important for them to,
Hold
leading
players
into next
and-
year, just that little bit of confidence.
My old mate Peter Marshall, 8 versus Josh Bradley, 31. So Pete wouldn't have been a happy chappy.
Nope.
Marion, 109 to Modbury, 54. Brady Slater, 41 to Norb, one of our listeners,
Yes.
our viewers or whatever it is.
Yep. There's one of two because it's Norb and Sorry. So
So Brady, 41 to Norb, 5.
wow.
Um,
No one's cracked the 50 this year. Actually, we'll throw it out
Yeah.
there. Anybody in any division this year that's cracked a 50, let us know. We'd be pretty chuffed to sort of pump that one up there. I think the only one that I can think of that rings a little bit of a bell is Kensington Marryatville, like round 1 or round 2 against Trinity. I reckon they might have got a 50. But look, we'll throw it out there. If there's anyone else that got 50s, we've certainly talked about giving out 8s like lollies this year. But anyone's got a 50, let us know.
I said I'd give him a sing out while we're on the Div 1.
Fire away, mate.
Mark Tonkin and Kenny Hotham, they were like Cheshire cats, having a bit of a smile and laugh at me. And so I said I'll give them a sing out this week.
Absolutely.
So there we go, boys.
We love the boys at Marion there.
Going along nicely
They
too.
are
And
indeed.
We'll go into the premiership table straight away
We
with
will, mate.
Marion 15 and 2, Pete. Port Noarlunga 15 and 2.
Yep.
Millswood 11 and 6.
Yes.
And this is where it gets interesting,
It does. Well, there's a couple of interesting permutations here, but fire away.
Somerton 10, 6 and 1. Henley 10 and 7. You got the points in front of you.
3 points the difference. 152 to Henley, 155 to Somerton. So that is going to be interesting when we get into this week's matches. But the other one that's just sort of piqued my interest, which I didn't actually realise until I analysed these points, is that Port Noarlunga are only 10 points behind Marion.
Wow.
So that loss last week, a couple of weeks ago for Marion to Toorak might come back to bite them for the minor premiership.
It would, but first and second doesn't really matter, does it?
I agree.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be interesting that
Yep.
Port Noarlunga are going to try and gun for that top spot.
Oh,
Puts
absolutely.
them in a good spot coming into the finals. And look, anything can happen in the finals.
As we know.
Absolutely. All right, so Paynham and Toorak look like the two that will go down. Paynham need maximum points this weekend without Woodville winning anything.
Yeah, and I can't see it happening. But Paynham at home, Paynham and Woodville, tip?
Woodville for me.
Woodville for me too, I think, Pete.
Yep.
They
It's going to be an early start.
It is?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 36 degrees.
Wow,
So just keep
okay.
that in mind.
Yep. I better have breakfast early.
We're at Holdies.
Get out of bed early.
We've got to be up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah. Okay, we've got Toorak and Port Noarlunga.
Port Noarlunga for me.
Port Noarlunga for me, but good luck to Toorak. They've had
Yes.
a very good finish to the season.
They have.
Somerton and Millswood.
This is my game of the round.
Yes.
Millswood for me.
Millswood for me. Another good game here. A lot on the line. Henley versus Marion.
Well, this is my second game of the round, only because Henley could potentially make the 4.
At home.
And Marion, really, as we've just mentioned a minute ago, wanting to hold on to top spot where they haven't been dislodged all year.
Marion for me.
Marion for me as well.
Okay. And another good game here, though.
Absolutely.
Nothing hanging on it. Modbury versus Tranmere at Modbury.
Look, it's a dead rubber, but everyone gets competitive. For me, Modbury.
Modbury for me. And as we said earlier on, it looks like Paynham are going to be heading down with Toorak. So another drop for Paynham from Prems to 1s and 1s to 2s.
2s, yep. So a bit of a long way back, but hey, anything can happen over the next couple of years. They might recruit a couple of guns and away they go. All right, mate, let's take a very, very quick break and have a look at some hot shots.
She could attack the second wood for game. Even if Jack went in the ditch, it would still be game.
Well, she's listened to you, Smithy. She's got some weight on this. Under the front, she's very close. What a shot.
What a shot to win a state singles final.
Absolutely brilliant there from Moffat. Wowee.
Read that perfectly. Played it perfectly. A great win. A great effort from Kelly Paul to make the final. Runner-up. Certainly not disgraced. And yes, a very happy. And he goes over to her husband Anthony and the family. Fantastic. She's a great character in the game. She was...
All right, mate. Everyone's favourite time of the night. It's the around the regions and looking at the Barossa and Light. And I know you. Look, I keep cutting your lunch today, but we had a little bit of an upset. I'll let you talk about it.
We did.
Yep.
We did. I probably
far away.
did. I think I did tip
Yeah,
Kapunda in the first semi-final.
Yep.
Kapunda 75.
Yes.
Defeated Linddock, who
Yes.
are now finished at 61. So we had Sean Knight, the biggest winning rink, 25 to Darren Green 14. So Kapunda move on and Linddock bow out. So couple disappointed. I talked to a couple of Linddock boys and pretty disappointed boys there.
Absolutely. I reckon I picked Kapunda as well.
Yeah, I think you did.
So well done to the Bombers under the hanger there.
Yes. And this is the one we mucked up on.
Yes.
And we should have picked Newry because we had to go there for lunch.
We
I know
did.
that your cold meat tasted a bit funny. Mine did.
Bit of a sore stomach on the way home. No, it was fantastic.
No, it was all good.
I know when it came to breakfast, you got skipped a few times.
I did. Yeah, couldn't get that egg and bacon burger, could I? Trevor Billing was, he ignored me.
I was watching to see which one he spat in, and he made
there
sure
you
he
go.
gave it to you. Gave it to you.
Tasted all right.
It did. No, they did very, very well.
So our next game was the second semi-final. So the winner goes into the grand. Anguston 75 to Newry 78. Liam Buckley again with his number 3 who I played with at Victor Harbour, which is Mark Schutz.
Yes.
24 to Stewie Allen 16. So all ranks pretty close there, but that's a good win to Liam again. So this week, that's finals, Pete. So we're going to skip through this a bit.
Absolutely.
Anguston versus Kapunda at Mount Pleasant.
Anguston for me.
Anguston for me, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, so I think Anguston are going for 7 in a row, I think it is. So I need this win this week.
Let's just talk about that for a second there. Anguston have come with a flurry, I suppose, through the middle part of the season, finished top of the table. Newry have been around the mark, maybe dropped 1 or 2 that they didn't expect to drop.
Yep, Tanunda late in the year.
Yep, they've now beaten Anguston.
Yep.
Does that sharpen Anguston up a little bit, do you think?
I've been in that position at Newry,
Yeah, yep.
And Anguston were always around the mark
Yep.
when I was up there.
I mean, there was only 3 shots in it, 75
yeah,
to
it's
78.
nothing. It's one bad end, isn't it?
Yep. So
One rink's bad end.
does it sharpen them up a little bit?
It can work for you and against you. I don't know whether it's easier coming from,
Yep.
prelim final or going straight into the grand.
Yep.
I really haven't got an answer for you there,
No,
Pete.
that's
I've
right.
And I played in enough of them. But,
just knowing that you
yeah.
know the Barossa and Ryde a little bit better than what I do, is that, will that be an advantage or is it just simply, hey, it is what it is and they do what they do?
Look, I know Newry have got a couple doubtful. Bobby Randall's on the sick list at the moment. And Brent and Brown, Brownie was there Sunday.
Yes.
So they've got a couple little health issues there. So whether the boys are going to get back or what, Brownie missed this semi.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's all going to come down to it.
He sounded pretty confident that he was
I think
going to be up and about.
Yeah,
so,
so
anyway.
time will tell.
Kapunda get a free hit, really, don't they? And I think that's the best way they can go into the final is they've got nothing to lose and any result can happen.
So it's out on a little carpet out there at Mount Pleasant. I think it's a little bit tricky, but they don't seem too fussed about it. They didn't Sunday when we were up there anyhow.
Absolutely.
So anyway, time will tell.
Yeah, let's move on. All right, mate, coming up, we've got Brent Marshall on the players' 22nd end, the players' interview. Looking forward to talking with Brent about that.
Liking this podcast? Please like, rate, and subscribe. Players interview.
And tonight, joining us from the Sailsbury Bowling Club, we have Brent Marshall. Congratulations. Go to keeping your colour at Sailsbury this year.
Thank you. A little bit to go. I mean, it's going to take some effort from Holdfast to get their 16 points, especially against Ascot. But 2 points is all we need, either end. So it's been a real tough season, but here we are, one game to go.
I thought, Brent, you started the year pretty well, Sailsbury. I thought you're probably bowling above yourselves, basically. A few really good wins there early, and perhaps the second half of the year you've tapered out a little bit. But
that's probably a fair assessment, Fecky. I chat often, obviously, to the other selector, Mitch Walker. You probably are aware of this, the old Sailsbury curse after Christmas, probably lose more than we win.
Yeah.
But, early on, I think we went to Christmas 5-5, and that was probably way above our wildest dreams where we're at. And then we sort of earmarked a few games where points could be taken, and here we are, giving ourselves the best chance of survival.
Let's rewind things a little bit to where you started your bowls, mate. We'd like to get a bit of a feel for how you got into bowls, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, nice. Pete, so I grew up in the northwest of WA in a mining town called Port Hedland. Unfortunately, up there it was basically cricket or footy on the same period of the year due to the weather. But also bowls was an option, and my dad used to be a greenkeeper up at Port Hedland. My mum got into it eventually, and I had one season when I sort of pushed cricket and footy aside. And due to a lot of other things, probably work, when I joined the Defence Force, I only really picked it back up in 2015 when I was over in Perth and played my time there with Sorrento Bowling Club.
Yeah, so work takes you away, Brent. I know that because I played at Sailsbury with you for half a year anyhow, and then away you went. So you've had a few bowls clubs, probably more clubs than Tiger Woods, just about.
Yeah, I do a few.
Yeah, not necessarily you're doing.
Definitely, mate. Like my cupboard is a bit of a bowls collection. If I go play some tournaments, it's whatever shirt I want to wear. But yeah, you're right. It's sort of like a little bit out of my control, but it gives me a little bit of exposure of a bit of bowls in WA, a bit of bowls in SA, a bit of time up in Queensland as well. It's been really good for my development. Some will say it probably hasn't pushed me along as much as I probably should have, but you play against a lot of other different people at different levels, and yeah, it's really good fun.
With travelling around a little bit there, just give us a bit of insight into each state and what's slightly different, and obviously greens and conditions and competition. Just give us a bit of an insight into that.
Yeah, so I would say WA and SA are pretty similar. Obviously, their pennant competition follows the same sort of routine, 6 months over the Christmas break. Green-wise, you do get very similar greens. Very windy over in WA, pretty much basically what South Australia is as well. If you can't bowl in the wind, there's no point bowling. And then Queensland, obviously they play bowls all year round. You can play as many tournaments as you want, as many real high-level competitions as you want. Greens, once again, I probably prefer the greens over in Queensland. I'm not really a green keeper, so I wouldn't really know the different grass. But yeah, I really did enjoy bowling up in Queensland, and different sort of pen and all those competition setups as well. Which you could have argue forever and a day about that.
Who'd you bowl for up there, Pete? Pete. Brent. You're Pete.
So I started with Swifts, so Booville Swifts. Unfortunately, a year and a half after I joined them, they didn't exist anymore. They were overtaken by one of the hockey clubs, and then I moved over to Darrow Semenka, and they're in the Cunningham district, probably 30 minutes inland of Brisbane.
Good comp?
Yeah, very good comp. So a couple decent bowlers up there in Cunningham, Colin Lipton, those sort of guys. Yep. And Mitch Percy's brother, Judd, who has graced himself down at South Australia a few times. So, yeah, the competition up there is pretty fierce.
And synthetic greens, grass greens, what's the predominantly mix up there? Because I've been up there a little bit and it seems like a good, healthy mix of both.
Yeah, that's right. You do have a lot of really good grass greens, and most of the synthetics are undercover. So Capalaba and Wynnum, Manly, and all those places have and Helensvale now have the real nice undercover setups, and it probably facilitates all that bowls all year round that they do. Competition whenever you want it.
Now, Phil mentioned that you played a half a season. I don't blame you for leaving, mate. How was he as a teammate?
Oh, I asked for a posting because of Phil.
I love it.
No, Phil's a great teammate. I really did enjoy bowling with him. I'm taking back any time.
Absolutely. I'm sure Sailsbury could do with a handy lead. I did see firsthand on the weekend. He's all over it.
Yeah, doing well down in Walkerville, mate.
Going all right there. For another question I've got for you, Brent, is what's it like playing with the great man week in, week out, Graham Saw?
Geez, I knew this question was coming, and I prepared myself for this. No, played all last year with Sawyer as his 3, and I have played a lot of competition bowls with Graham, and he is good. If you can ignore all the dad jokes, you're doing all right. But no, he's a very capable bowler, and he's a really good teammate to have out there on the green.
He did mention about the dad jokes. Would you like to let
guaranteed.
us in on a couple, or just leave that on the green?
Nah, thanks, Pete. I don't want to rehash them.
Yeah, we played with the great man on Sunday up at Newry, me and Pete. So,
yep.
We had a couple of the dad jokes up there. So, he's a good bloke, good bowler,
Absolutely.
and quality person.
Yeah, definitely, he's an asset.
So, moving on, obviously travelling around a little bit and then coming back here to SA, was Sailsbury sort of always going to be your first choice, or did you have a couple of little options there, or how did that all come about?
So I'm really good mates with Phil Marsden, and I did bowl for 1 year at Gawler when I moved back over from WA to SA. So the 6 months, so I got back in SA in start December. So I spent the second half of that pennant season bowling out of Gawler with Phil. But I think my aim was always to get back into the real high standard metro bowls. And since I had that link back with Sailsbury, I was always willing to go back.
And last year was a bit of a bonus for you guys. Got through to the final against Hawthorn.
Yep, and we're still 0-6 against Hawthorn over the last 2 years, which is a bit frustrating, but they're a very good side.
Absolutely. You guys obviously coming up into Premier League, like we sort of opened with, there was a good opportunity for you guys to get off to a good start, and you shocked a couple early, but as you said, the after Christmas curse came in, and just take us through some of the players there, that Rossi McConnell and Mitch Walker and a few of the other boys there that have now become stalwarts of Sailsbury and probably going to help you keep your colour this year. And what are the plans for next year, mate?
Yeah, so you're right. I mean, like I guess it's like anything in sport. You go through with the team you have, and our 16 have been pretty consistent this year. Maybe give or take one or two people that have gone up and down, but and blood in a couple of people also. But we're hoping guys like Mitch, they stick around for the 2, 3, 4 years with a bit of plan we have. We didn't recruit very well over the winter break, and we acknowledge that. We definitely did try, but other opportunities came up for those bowlers. But and then we thought it's a really good chance for us to see what happens. And like I mentioned, like Mitch has had a fantastic year skipping his rink. He's been easily our most successful skip results wise. We've had people like Rob Wright, who is back in the game after a long time out. First played last year, and he's gone leaps and bounds again this year as one of the leads in Sailsbury's rink. And another guy has come up and he's led for me for a little bit. Gordon Wickham, once again, like another guy who probably didn't really take bowls massively serious, and this last year he's been really good for us. So that natural development, guys having a crack in Premier and seeing what we got. Yep, second half of the season hasn't been good, but we did a lot of hard work in the first half of the season to set ourselves up.
So what do you reckon you need for next year? Moving on, Brent.
Well, we've already identified we probably need about 4 back end players. Mixtures of 3s and 4s, and then hopefully some depth. Once again, as you know, Fecky, our second side, top of the table in Div 3, but that's a very, very good competition at the moment with some good teams. So we're sort of hoping that results go their way and they get promotion to Div 2. Then that jump from our second side to our Prem side when needed isn't so big. Yeah. But, if we manage to get 3 or 4 back-end players and a couple other really good role players, I think we're going to set ourselves up. And we're under no illusions, we're probably not going to jump into the top echelon of the bowls clubs in SA, but we'll be a pretty competitive side week in, week out.
That's all you want to be, isn't it? I mean, you got to be really competitive and make you're happy with that basically, aren't you?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, exactly right, Fecky. Like I did a bit of stats during the week, and we've been involved in 4 or 5 losses under 10 shots, but we've also been involved in 4 or 5 losses above 25. So that gap between our best and our worst is quite big, as you do sometimes with a side coming up. So we're just hoping to bridge that a little bit.
And obviously, with the eyes looking forward there, looking for obviously those couple of players, tournament-wise, trying to attract people to the club from that sort of northern area, especially with those fringe country clubs that are around that area. Is that a targeted zone that you guys might look at?
Yeah, you would think so, Pete. So we got 3 competitions coming up in March, April, and also we have the Sailsbury, the Dunbar Open Prestige Pairs, which is in January, where we do get a lot of quality bowlers come that are available and that want to bowl that week before pennant starts. But yeah, and that's the thing is, we are the closest, along with Modbury, to that Barossa Gateway sort of area where there are some fantastic bowlers out there. And one of those who had moved to Adelaide, Jono. We went pretty hard to try and get John across, but the lure of Adelaide was probably a bit too big for him. But that's not going to stop us having a crack at a few more of those guys out there.
Yeah, I've heard a couple names. I've had probably 3 names. I won't mention them. 3 names that could be coming or very close to coming to you guys next year. Looks like you're losing Timmy Miller though, hey?
Yeah. Timmy is he's probably been one of those guys who's a bit of the heartbeat of the club for a long time. A bloke who will give his absolute all during the week, game day, the whole lot. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's going to be a big loss for us. But that's life. That's bowls. He's off to different things for him, and as you said, he's never going to close the door on coming back, and we'll welcome him back if it comes about that way.
That's what bowls clubs are all about. Generally, that happens. People move on for work and other opportunities, and they're always welcome back at their original club or somewhat near their original club. Mate, you also mentioned that you sort of served, and we thank you for your service. Just take us through that and how you sort of fell into that a little bit and where you've been posted.
Actually, it's a funny story because I literally fell into it. I one day up in Port Hedland, so I applied for a BHP apprenticeship, IT sort of stuff, and I had some really good grades through school, some really good ATAR or whatever it used to be called back then. But for one reason or another, BHP didn't happen. So I saw an advert on TV for defence, for an avionics technician, and I thought, why not have a crack at that? Within 3 weeks, I was on the plane to Adelaide, where it all started, RAF Base Edinburgh, and yeah, that pretty much kicked it off. And still serving, ticked over 25 years recently. Posting wise, I've been SA, WA, and up in Queensland. Seen some fantastic places around the world, which will be forever grateful for. Served with some amazing people and continue to do so.
And where are you off to next? Do you know that far down the track, or how many years you got left here, or that sort of thing?
So I'm actually due posting end of this year, but
Okay.
I think my career manager is going to be nice to me and give me another 3 years, which I am grateful for. My kids are 18 and 17, so they're gone on to that next part of their life, and I'd like to have some pretty stable home life for them. And then also, we're doing some pretty good stuff out of Sailsbury, so I'd love to really kick that on for another 3 years. I'm currently the vice president on the board, so hopefully we'll take that to the next level and let's see what happens.
Fantastic, mate. Really looking forward to that. All right, let's finish off with a couple of quick questions to get you out of here on this one. One of the most underrated players playing at Sailsbury, mate?
Oh, underrated. I reckon people like to really get into him, but I think that'd have to be Sorry.
He'll love that.
And I'm not saying it because he's going to be watching this, because I'm gonna cop it later on in our little group chat. But Sorry would definitely be one of the underrated players.
Fair enough. Who's your main rival, do you think, in Premier League or Premier League / Division 1?
Well, our local rivalry is obviously Modbury, but then again we get along with them pretty well. So yeah, the northern rivals would be it. But we have a real healthy relationship on and off the green with them.
Who brings the most energy to your team, whether it be a team player or maybe a supporter or two sitting and watching?
Well, we have one of our guys. Well, one of the players is definitely Timmy. He definitely brings a lot of energy. But we have one of our hard-working volunteers in the background. Call him the Pope. He is always beer in hand, always a first to volunteer around the club, and always will be standing at the back of the rink. And as I've copped a couple of floggings this year, he's always beer in hand up on the scoreboard, cheering you on, giving you a bit of a pep talk. And we really appreciate what they do for us.
They're the lifeblood of a lot of clubs, aren't they? That you have those rusted-on supporters that are there, rain, hail or shine.
100%.
All right, mate. Your favourite away club to play at? And because you have played in a couple of different states, maybe do South Australia and then anywhere else. I'll let you go in whatever direction you want to go.
Yeah, okay. I guess probably WA, one of them away club. So I used to play at Sorrento, but one of them was Mosman Park. At the top of a hill, you look out straight over the river. Fantastic scenery. No, it wasn't for anything bowls related, but yeah, just the area that it was. I guess in Queensland, playing a lot of the district side stuff over there, it easily would have been Broadbeach. You guys would have seen it. Fantastic setup they've got there. The greens are world class. So that one's probably a no-brainer, really.
Yes.
I guess and an away away club for South Australia. That's probably a hard one. I actually like bowling everywhere in SA. Good question. Probably Adelaide, actually. Yeah, let's go with Adelaide. I do really enjoy bowling down at Adelaide.
Fair enough. Who's the goat of Sailsbury down there? Is it Sorry or is it Rossi McConnell or somebody else?
There's a couple guys. I think we've got a couple real along the two sort of fellas around. Like Greg Dorby, Eric Datson, Jeff Nethercott, these sort of guys on the green on Saturday. You can't really go past Roscoe McConnell. His Ross lives are very famous across the state. Yeah, so Ross, he loves the battle, but he also loves the cans. And on that, the guy who's really starting to develop through the club as well, Robbie Naylor. Probably he's come back into bowls for the last 18 months, but we're really enjoying the energy that he brings, and hopefully he'll stick around for a little bit longer.
Sorry, Phil, we didn't get a mention there when you were at Sailsbury, mate, unfortunately.
Probably lost my phone number too.
All right, mate. A couple of last ones here, mate. Who's got the best drive at Sailsbury? Who's the most accurate and most powerful?
Oh, geez, I'm pretty comfortable in saying that Sailsbury probably don't really have any real powerful drivers. We're not like these guys like Sammy Dietrich who can rip one down and probably shatter a few ankles on the way through.
Yep.
But in terms of probably some accuracy, like Mitch has got a pretty good drive on him. So that's probably. I mean, I'll probably hit 3 in a row and then miss the next 30. Probably like most of us anyway.
I think we've all been there and done that. All right, mate. Last one, or actually second to last one. If you're all square on the boards, the big boards, and you need to put a bowl in somebody's hand to win you the game, who are you entrusting?
Oh, this is going to come with a lot of regret because his ego is already big enough as it is, but that'd be Mitch Walker.
Fair call. I thought you were going to say sorry there for a minute.
Oh, look, he's bowling all right, the big fella, but I think I'll take a bowl from Mitch's hand if we're going to be winning the game with that last one.
Fair call. All right, mate, last one to get you out of here on this one. If a movie's being made about you, what movie is it and who's playing you?
Oh, Jesus. That's putting me on the spot. Yeah, maybe. You reckon my hairline's pretty good for Jesus, Fecky, or what?
No problem.
So have I.
Oh, look, I don't know. I mean, the guys call me Mav every now and again because of my Air Force background. So let's just go with, for a bit of a laugh, Tom Cruise. That'll do.
Top gun. Love it.
Yep.
Mate, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of fodder there, and I'm sure you're probably going to get some from the boys in the group chat as well.
I'm going to get hammered for it. Yeah, no problems.
Mate, thanks for joining us tonight. I know you're a little bit pressed for time, and thanks for hanging about and doing the interview with us. Best of luck for the last round of the season, and best of luck for recruiting for next year. And let's see how Sailsbury can sort of stay in that Premier League and certainly push towards maybe making finals next year.
Yeah, too easy. No problem. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Vicky. Yeah, looking forward to the rest of the year and next year. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, Brent. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Liking this podcast? Please like, rate, and subscribe.
All right, mate, we're flying through things tonight. Let's get into the extra ends. Let's talk some state events. State pairs catch-up finals will be this weekend. Best of luck to all teams that have made it out of their sections. The SA Finals Week is the 31st of March to the 3rd of April at Club Holdfast. So I did see some results sort of floating around from some of the country associations. They obviously played some of their events to see who qualifies for the singles and bits and pieces like that. So best of luck to players this weekend. The Bowls SA Awards Night, 30th of May. Nominations are now open. If your club hasn't nominated for a couple of the different nominations, Club of the Year, Volunteer of the Year, I think Media of the Year, bits and pieces. Maybe
we might get... I hope Walkerville are listening on.
If there's a club out there that wants to nominate us, we'll certainly enjoy the nomination.
We'll find the collar and tie.
Obviously State Player of the Year and bits and pieces like that. So, yeah, if your club, I'm sure they'd be pretty much all aware of it. But if they're not, give them a little bit of a reminder that the nominations are now open. I reckon they close pretty soon. So jump on board. But, best of luck to all the nominees there. All right, last week of the Bowls tipping. We will talk about that a little bit more next week because I reckon that finals don't count. But I'll double check with that anyway. All right, mate, let's move on to tournaments.
And I just put that back in my pocket, Pete.
Sorry,
so
mate.
let me get that back out.
You're right.
Sorry about that.
No, all good.
We'll kill a bit of time here. We've got the Les Schultz Day. And I know Mark Schutz would be all over me if I didn't mention it. Yep. April the 6th at Angaston Bowling Club. Give Mark a ring or ring the Angaston Bowling Club there.
Yes.
28th to 31st of March is Clare. It's a 4-dayer. We're going up for the 2.
Yep.
So at Clare Bowling Club, just give them a ring up there. We've also got Smiley. Smiley told me to mention them.
He
18th
did.
and the 25th of April at 2 Wells.
Yes.
One is Good Friday, and we'll be there, Pete.
We will indeed. We might even take the camera, a bit of a roving Pete and roving Phil, maybe. Maybe an after-hours special.
Yeah.
After dark. Lot of bleeping out along the way.
So they're the ones I've got. Have we got any others on
We
here,
do
Pete?
indeed.
We have got the Modbury Mixed Fives?
Yes, it is, mate.
Mixed Fives?
Yeah.
Okay, what's that, an interchange? Or?
So it's a pairs and triples type event, but you each play, I think it's 5 or 6 games, but you've got to change your combination.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
it's a novel event. I don't mind it, actually.
Sunday the 6th of April, same day as Angaston, 9:30 for 10 o'clock start, 150 a team, triples and pairs.
Yep.
Okay, yep.
As we mentioned there.
Oh, this one sounds all right.
It does indeed.
Hawthorn Seafood Classic, Sunday the 13th of April, 9:45, $160 a team, Cosmo Medley. So there you go.
Always a big event at Hawthorn.
Gather round, though.
It is. I think there's a few clubs that have just tried to sort of have a couple of events in there, so that way the people that are coming over for gather round can participate in some bowls events. I think it's quite smart from a lot of clubs to cash in on that, because not everyone wants to go to every game. There's some footy tragics out there that will want to try to go to every game.
It's me.
But if you don't want to go to every game, you can actually you know, play some bowls.
Play a bit of bowls.
There's certainly a lot happening there. All right, let's talk BPL Cup. Venues haven't changed. Moonta, Boolaroo, Berry, Torrensville, Kapunda, Salisbury, Mount Gambier, Port Augusta. As we say every week, anyone that gets added to that list, we'll make sure that we promote it as best we can. All right, national events. The Cabramatta 100,000. Clearly, our invitations are still in the mail, mate. Tournament reaching its conclusion with Club Holdfast finishing a reasonably respectable 21st overall. Damon Edmonds was on the live stream on Tuesday, I think it was, or maybe even late Monday. No, Tuesday it was. He played very, very well and played against a young fella that's, I think, finished runner-up or even won the Australian Open pairs last year or the year before. So some quality bowls being put down there, and I know Club Holdfast, you wanted to use this event as a bit of a launching pad, but
I think I saw today they beat Moana.
They did indeed, with some very, very well-known bowlers playing there as well. So well done to them overall. Just a reminder, the Australian Indoor Singles Qualifying event is Sunday the 18th of May. Nominations haven't quite been put out yet, but I did see an advertisement for it, so I thought we'd pump it pretty early here, with the finals being on the 25th of May. All right, mate, let's finish off with a couple of quick questions. Top 4 or top 5?
Top 4.
Leave it at that?
Yep, leave it at that. It just makes another week of probably finals, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Yeah, no, I think season's long enough. I'm talking to the wife tonight, and she said, you're going into the footy season. You realise that because she's my diary.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, I know.
Yep.
But, anyway, no, 4 for me.
Mate, I know it's not on the running list, but 8 teams or 10 teams?
I don't mind 10.
Yep.
I think gives a couple clubs and the up and down, I think, is a good.
Yep, the
good
promotion
thing. So,
relegation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm happy with that.
All right, let's leave it there. Weekend double headers for all teams or just the top teams?
It is for all, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. No, leave it at all.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fine by me. Obviously, the NBA put out their schedule, hence the reason why I've thrown it on the run sheet tonight, that the first lot of finals will be played as normal. The second lot of finals will be a Saturday-Sunday deal, with the Premier League obviously playing on the Sunday there as well. So,
and we're down to the last 16 in the state singles, isn't it?
That's correct. Yep.
I'm going to mention it because your brother told me today, Doc Buttfield's into the last 16.
Yep.
So good luck to the Doc. And I don't know who else is still in it, but Mike said something to me today, so I thought I'll give it a mention tonight.
Fantastic. Best of luck to all the players there.
Absolutely.
All right, mate, we better wind things up. We're flying and out of time once again.
Worn out.
Mate,
5 days of bowls.
I'm surprised you've still got an arm that's functioning at the moment, mate. As per usual, like, rate, subscribe, share this with friends, family, teammates, opponents, enemies, next door neighbours, anybody that can get us a few views. thank you to the regulars that have come up to me. I had a couple that came up to me on Sunday out at the Newry, and obviously not knowing too many people out in that area coming up, going, "Oh, you're on the podcast with Phil," and I'm like, "Yes."
Is that a good thing?
It is a good thing or a bad thing. That's right. But as per usual, mate,
good.
we've got to do better,
I don't
and
know how.
we will do better. Thank you,
Thanks,
mate.
Pete.
No worries.
Cheers, mate.
See you next week. Bring on the finals.